Thanks so much, Brittany. In the news tonight, Christmas is a time for many folks to spend with loved ones, but one West Virginia family is still missing a little girl this holiday season. Today marks exactly 3 months since 3-year-old Aaliyah Lunsford went missing from her Lewis County home. Along with our sister stations across the state, we've received Christmas cards for Aaliyah, some from as far away as Vermont. Now, we'll deliver those cards to Aaliyah's extended family. Meanwhile, Lewis County residents held an indoor yard sale over the past 3 days to help pay for the materials for 2 large signs to put up on Interstate 79. If you have any information that might help authorities find Aaliyah, you are asked to call the West Virginia Fusion Center at 1-866-WV-WATCH. Flags at state facilities in West Virginia will fly at half-staff on Tuesday. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin issued the order to lower the flags in honor of Michael Scott Lakin. He's a West Virginia National Guard pilot that was killed in a plane crash in Ohio last Thursday. He was performing stunt aerial maneuvers during recertification testing. Lakin was part of the 130th West Virginia Air National Guard and spent more than a year flying combat missions in the Middle East. Lakin was also a pilot for the Mountain State, flying West Virginia King Air 350 and Cessna Grand Caravan planes. Domestic battery charges against a Putnam County Commissioner have been dropped. Ed Rebrook, attorney for Commissioner Gary Tillis, says charges were dropped against his client after Tillis's wife and stepdaughter testified the commissioner did not hit anyone. Rebrook says that prosecutors then voluntarily dismissed the charges because they could not prove their case. Gary Tillis was arrested last September by Eleanor police. Last month, he told us he doesn't plan to seek re-election when his term ends next year, adding he made that decision before the September incident. Well, the controversy over tolls on Route 35 has come to benefit some local charities in Mason County. The Committee Against Route 35 Tolls collected funds for a legal challenge, that is, if tolls on Route 35 became a reality. It didn't, so now they're donating the leftover money to Mason County Toys for Kids, the Snow Buddies program, and the Point Pleasant Fire Department's holiday baskets for needy families. Each program received $885. Christmas is less than an hour away, and hopefully you finished your Christmas shopping. However, if you didn't, you're in luck. A few stores will actually be open tomorrow for those waiting until past the last minute. Walgreens, for example, will have special hours to pick up those final items. Some customers we spoke with said that they just had a few stocking stuffers to get, and they were good and ready to relax tomorrow.
I think I'm just about finished, close to being finished anyway. And if I'm not, then, you know, there's the day after Christmas.
Park your buggy there.
Walgreens will be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Even if you pushed your gift shopping to the last minute, you've probably had your Christmas tree up for a while. But today we met one man who gave a whole new meaning to waiting till the last minute. Marshall Petty waited until Christmas Eve, that's right, Christmas Eve today, to buy his mother a tree. He says he didn't plan on it, but he says his family was just simply too busy. With the last minute buy came a real bargain. He was able to get his mother a 9-foot tree for $20. That's $45 less than what he paid for his own tree 3 weeks ago.
Previous Christmases, waiting around to the last minute is really not the thing to do, because just like right now. I mean, it's not that, we're getting a vast selection of trees, but, it would have been nice to, have a full selection to where you could really, pick out the kind of tree that you want. But we did find a nice tree.
Petty says since they got such a great deal on his mother's tree, he will consider waiting longer to buy his next year. Most families are huddled around Christmas trees tonight, but we caught up with one man who spent his Christmas Eve on the side of the road selling a tree of a different type. Along Route 119, bonsai tree salesmen say they were doing a booming business today by selling the small good luck trees. They say customers stopped by and connected Christmas and New Year's with a bonsai tree.
Christmas season, bonsai trees set up to selling. A lot of people buy this. Families give you a Christmas present.
Bonsai trees grow on mountains with very strong roots. They're thought to be good luck because they're the strongest limb on rock faces. Many kids across our region will probably have a tough time sleeping tonight, waiting for St. Nick to arrive. According to NORAD, Santa has already made stops in much of the world. He's dropped off toys for good girls and boys across Asia. The the South Pacific, Europe, and Africa, saving the Americas for the end of his journey. Finally tonight, one musician here in the Mountain State is ringing in the holiday spirit through his latest song. Sounds good. Santa's Wearing Blue, the name of the song. It's the latest by Morgantown musician George Johnson. Johnson says the song has been in the works for several years and that he wanted to write an original Christmas piece because as a kid, nothing beat a favorite holiday tune.
When you're growing up as a kid, Christmas songs are always really special to you. And then as you grow up, you still love those songs. Yeah, there's a few songs in the past 20 years or so, but a lot of the great Christmas songs were written back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and we're still playing them. So I felt there needed to be an updated kind of Christmas song.
And you can find Johnson's song on iTunes.
And tomorrow we're looking at mild temperatures. It's not going to be a white Christmas. Temperatures in the 50s, and then the rain returns on Tuesday, even some snowfall, so be careful traveling.
All right, thanks, Brittany. Have a good evening, everyone.
Right.
Now, cool down's good news. Thanks so much, Brittany. In the news tonight, organizers of the March to Blair Mountain estimate that as many as 2,000 were there for the final push up the mountain, where environmental activists and coal supporters collided. 13 News' David Iverson has more and what you need to know.
West Virginia. Live and local in Blair, David Iverson, 13 News.
The rally is sparking a lot of national attention. CNN is running an hour-long documentary on coal mining in the Appalachians, and 7 minutes of it is dedicated to this week's march. The documentary is scheduled to air August 14th. Police are investigating a shooting in Institute this evening. That shooting happened shortly before 6:30 this evening in the area of Marshall Avenue. Dispatchers say one person was reportedly shot in the hand. According to deputies, the suspects were driving a silver Dodge Magnum with chrome wheels. Police are investigating that incident. Smithers Police and West Virginia State Police are investigating how a woman was struck by a jet ski on the Kanawha River. The accident happened east of the Montgomery Bridge just after 4 this afternoon. Lieutenant James Bowles of the Smithers Fire Department said the victim had fallen off a jet ski just before being struck by another jet ski. Authorities have not released the name of the victim. A motorcycle accident in Lincoln County sends one person to the hospital. That accident happened on Patty's Branch Road near Ranger around 8 o'clock this evening. Dispatchers say the motorcycle went into a ditch, flipped, and the driver suffered a broken arm and back injuries. He was transported to Cabell Huntington Hospital by Lincoln County EMS. Early this morning, a house fire was reported in the Silverton area of Jackson County. According to 911 dispatchers, no injuries were reported at that fire. The cause of the blaze is not yet known. A burglary investigation in St. Albans leads to the discovery of a meth lab and the arrest of a husband and wife. Authorities arrested Christopher Hill and his wife Laura in connection with the meth lab discovery. Investigators say they went to the couple's residence on Zirkle Street to follow up on leads from a burglary investigation. While there, they smelled meth and found the makings of a meth lab. More charges may be forthcoming against other individuals in this case. One of 3 men who escaped from the Huntington Work Release Center last week was captured last night. Cabell County Sheriff Tom McComas says 25-year-old David Popp was apprehended in the Bluefield area by a task force in southern West Virginia. Popp will be charged with escape and transferred back to Huntington. Another escapee, David Knight, was captured on Wednesday. A third escapee, DeJuan Jones, is still on the run tonight. Well, a new person is now at the helm of WVU football. Bill Stewart is out and Dana Holgerson is in as head football coach at West Virginia University. WVU Athletic Director Oliver Luck held a press conference last night to notify the media that Bill Stewart would no longer be the head coach at WVU and that Dana Holgerson would immediately fill that position. It capped off several weeks of speculation as numerous rumors had surfaced about the future of the WVU coaching staff.
He is ready for this challenge and understands the enormous responsibility that goes along with it. I have 100% confidence in Coach Holgerson and in our offensive and defensive assistant coaches.
We will have more on the coaching shakeup at West Virginia University in our WVI report. That's coming up a little bit later in sports. The changing of the guard at WVU football is also the topic of this week's Decision Makers. Host Bray Carey sits down with WVU Director of Athletics Oliver Luck and new head coach Dana Holgerson to discuss the latest developments in the Mountaineer football program. You can watch Decision Makers tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. right here on WOWK TV 13. The WVU football situation is also the topic of our 13 News Weekend web poll. We are asking, with the announcement of Stewart out and Holgerson moving up, does this put the controversy to rest and allow WVU to move on? To vote, just go to our website, WOWKTV.com. We know there are hundreds of retirement villages in states like Florida and Arizona, and now one is being developed right here in West Virginia. The Wiseman family of Putnam County brought the former Bronco Junction campsite in 2002, and now they're creating a West Virginia retirement village. More than 30 years ago, Bronco Junction was a thriving camp for asthmatic children in Putnam County. The sounds of nature can now be heard throughout the area since the camp closed in 1983, and the sight of campers has been replaced with the sight of wildlife. In 2002, the Wiseman family brought the camp out of bankruptcy, with many of the buildings at the camp showing their age.
Had it for a couple years and finally decided, he's going to do something with it, and kind of decided to make a retirement home for retired, semi-retired older folks that want to get out in the country.
It's mixed emotions. At least it's not just run down.
Tammy Cheney of South Charleston is a former Bronco Junction camper.
The memories are so vivid when you walk out there. Although the things aren't there and the cars aren't there and the people aren't there, the memories are there. So in a way, it's good that they're taking care of the place.
Later this summer, the Wisemans are getting ready to welcome Cheney and dozens of other former Bronco Junction campers.
We're proud that they want to come back and get back out in the country where they were at. These kids have a lot of memories.
Now the Wisemans are hoping some retired families will also make memories at the former Bronco Junction camp. 3 units have been created from the dining hall and infirmary, with plans to possibly add more. The Wisemans say the former campsite has opportunities for retirees to enjoy fishing, hiking, and biking. Ritter Park in Huntington turned into an art gallery today. Paintings, portraits, and even sculptures lined the park's walking trail. Members of the Tri-State Arts Association displayed and sold their works to those who passed by. The two-day event is a part of the association's plan of bringing local art into the local spotlight. Artists at the event say being at the park makes it more enjoyable for everyone.
I think it helps the park. I think that, it shows community, it helps show the community spirit to help the local artists. We have wonderful artists in this area. And it's just being outdoors, plein air, as they say, and it's just communicating with other artists and getting, it's a nice way to do that.
Art in the Park will continue tomorrow afternoon from noon till 5, and the Tri-State Art Association is planning another sale in September. Still to come tonight on 13 News at 11, is he staying or is he going? The latest in the continuing saga of New York Congressman Anthony Weiner when 13 News at 11 returns. Stay with us. Brittany, I love seeing that 80-degree temperature next week. Yes. Can you make it continue?
No, unfortunately I can't. We're going to be back in the mid-80s by the middle of the week, but we are going to see a little bit of a reprieve from the 90s as we start off next week, and we end the weekend with temperatures in the lower 80s. We could see an isolated storm as we start off tomorrow morning, but partly cloudy skies Monday and Tuesday remaining dry. Then another front bringing warmer air by the middle of the week and another chance for some rain and storms. But it's actually not that bad. I mean, mid-80s. It's not 90s.
Absolutely. With this heat wave we've had, it's almost like jacket weather, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Is that seasonal?
Yeah, it is. Pretty seasonal. Right around 80, so we'll be a little bit above normal by the middle of the week.
Alrighty, that sounds very good. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have for 13 News at 11. We will see you back here tomorrow night. Have a good evening.
Good night.